Right now, part of your brain is scanning this room. It's looking for eyes. Even though you're completely alone, you've felt it before. Walking through an empty house at night, standing in an empty elevator, sitting alone in a parked car, late, engine off. That prickling sensation on the back of your neck. The feeling that someone, somewhere, is watching you. There's no one there. You check. Still nothing. But the feeling doesn't go away. This isn't superstition. It isn't your imagination playing tricks on you. It's a piece of ancient survival software, running quietly in the background of your mind, every single day of your life. And most people go their whole lives without ever asking where it comes from. Once you understand it, you'll never look at an empty room the same way again. Here's the first clue. Your brain didn't evolve to be accurate. It evolved to keep you alive, and those two goals are not the same thing. Imagine two early humans walking through tall grass. One hears a rustle and assumes it's the wind. The other hears the same rustle and assumes it's a predator crouched low, watching. 99 times out of 100, it really is just the wind. Nothing happens either way. But that one time it isn't, only one of them walks away. Psychologists call this the smoke detector principle. A cheap false alarm costs you almost nothing. Just a flinch, a wasted glance over your shoulder. A missed real threat costs you everything you have. So evolution built you an alarm system that is deliberately, permanently, wildly oversensitive. Researchers even gave this system a name. They call it the hyperactive agency detection device. Its entire job is to assume something with eyes and intentions is nearby, even when the evidence for it is razor thin. But here's the part that actually surprised scientists studying it. This system doesn't need a real threat to fire. It doesn't even need real eyes. Your brain has a dedicated region just for detecting when something is looking at you. It's called the superior temporal sulcus, and it is remarkably, almost unfairly fast. It can pick up a gaze in your peripheral vision without you ever turning your head. It works in dim lighting, from a blurry photograph, even from two dots and a curved line that barely resemble a face at all. Scientists didn't just test this in a lab. They took it out into the real world. In one study, researchers placed a simple printed poster of a pair of human eyes above honesty boxes, where office workers paid for their coffee and tea on the honor system. Contributions nearly tripled. There were no cameras, no actual people watching, just a printed image of two eyes taped to the wall. Other researchers pasted eye posters near bike racks in high-theft neighborhoods. Bike theft dropped by more than 60% within weeks. In public parks, printed eyes above litter bins cut littering nearly in half compared to bins with no image at all. None of these eyes belonged to anyone. They weren't attached to a single living person. Your brain didn't care. It reacted exactly as if someone were standing right there. So if two dots and a line on a piece of paper can trigger this feeling, what happens when there's nothing printed at all? No poster, no photo, no camera, just an empty room and you. This is where it gets stranger. Your conscious mind is almost always the last one to find out. Long before you consciously register a person, a sound, or a shadow, your brain is already processing dozens of tiny signals below your awareness. A faint change in air pressure from a door left slightly open somewhere down the hall. A sound too quiet to name but not too quiet to register. A flicker of movement at the very edge of your vision, gone before you can even turn your head toward it. Your brain treats these fragments like a jigsaw puzzle missing half its pieces. It doesn't wait patiently for the full picture to arrive. It fills in the gaps with its best guess, and hands you a feeling before it hands you an explanation. That feeling is the sense of being watched. It isn't a memory of something you clearly saw. It's a prediction your brain made before you were even aware you were making one at all. Which means, some of the time, that prickling feeling on your neck might not be quite as random as it seems. There's one more layer to this story, and it's the one that divides scientists the most. In the 1990s, a biologist named Rupert Sheldrake ran a series of experiments testing whether people could sense being stared at from behind by someone they couldn't see, hear, or otherwise detect. His published results claimed that people guessed correctly more often than pure chance would predict. Mainstream science pushed back hard, and it pushed back fast. Other labs tried to repeat his experiments under stricter conditions and got results indistinguishable from random guessing. The overwhelming scientific consensus today is that there's no solid evidence for a mysterious sixth sense that detects unseen stares. The feeling almost certainly comes from the subtle physical cues we just talked about, not from anything paranormal. But the fact that serious researchers felt the need to test this question at all tells you something important. This feeling is so universal, so persistent across cultures, centuries, and continents, that scientists couldn't just wave it away. Here's the detail that tends to stop people mid-sentence when they hear it for the first time. Studies on gaze recognition suggest your brain can tell the difference between someone looking directly at you and someone looking just slightly to the side in under 200 milliseconds. That's faster than the time it takes you to consciously register a single spoken word. In other words, you can know you're being watched before you know that you know it. Your body can already be reacting, a shift in your posture, a small change in your breathing, while your conscious mind is still several steps behind, trying to catch up to what just happened. The feeling of being watched isn't a glitch in your system. It's one of the fastest, oldest alarm systems your brain owns, and it has been running quietly since long before you learned to read a clock, a calendar, or this very sentence. So the next time you feel those eyes on you in an empty room, don't brush it off completely. It isn't magic, but it isn't nothing either. It's 100,000 years of survival instinct, still quietly doing its job, whether you asked it to or not. Has this ever happened to you, that feeling of being watched when you were completely alone, and it later turned out someone actually was there? It's incredible. Subscribe for more of the strange science hiding inside your everyday behavior.